coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Wine on Saturday, wine on Sunday. But coach told me I can never miss a Monday.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. As always, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you for another edition of the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's checking us out live on Facebook and YouTube. I want to urge everyone to get involved in tonight's show. Leave myself or Coach Mike a relevant real estate question in the comments section, and you never know, your question may very well be answered on tonight's show. I want to take a little time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, but he is also the co-founder of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank him so much for sitting in on the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show. And I'd like to introduce to our audience, CEO, Coach Mike, Mr. Michael G. Davis. How are you?
Rick D, what's up? Man, hey, look, you know, you got to keep it spicy, man. How you doing,
Hey,
brother?
man. Good to see you, brother, man. How you been, man? It's great to be here on the show with you, man. I'm really excited about Monday Night Live this week.
No, man, I'm super excited too, brother. Like this 2025, man, has been off to 100 miles, bro, like 150 miles an hour. And, you know, I've kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, really pushed out a lot of things as it relates to the brokerage firm and some of the other responsibilities that I accepted coming into this year, some of the other leadership roles that I agreed to coming into this year, man. And it's really stretched you. So, man, it's been a good year, been some good times, and I'm super excited about where we are.
You know, for those members of our audience that haven't been necessarily tapped in to CEO Coach Mike on Instagram and your social media platforms, what's been going on in the world of Coach Mike and Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm since the last edition of the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show?
No, that's a great question, Rick. So, I mean, a lot, man. I really got to give a shout out to my Houston Black Real Estate Association family. You know, I was installed in as the president, the 2025, 2020 through 2027. So the 2025, 2026 president. So super excited about that, man. One of the largest chapters in an organization, a 77-year-old organization, has over 100 chapters throughout the country, and we're the largest. So honored to have that. We had our installation last week. But now we're in the midst of our Realtors Week, which is a series of events that we're having. Like one of the events we had today was called Politics and Pancakes, where we discussed a lot of the issues that and obstacles and challenges that affect our community. Tomorrow, we're going to be releasing the State of Housing in Black America. So we really want to be that vehicle that champions the challenges and the issues of the community, but also that vehicle that brings in support and brings us together as Black real estate professionals, the premier network for Black real estate professionals. So, and we have a host of events the rest of the week. Selfless plug, go to hbreaevents.org. I'm probably going to mention it again a little later too. We go to hbreaevents.org to learn about all the events that we have coming to Realtors Week, and that's going to be accumulating to our Community Wealth Building Day on this Saturday. So, Rick, that's been like crazy, taking all of my time and energy, right? On top of, you know, I decided to get some additional formalized business training. So I was luckily accepted into the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business cohort 41. I'm actually going to be graduating from that cohort on April 17th. So I'm super excited about the next chapter. It's really, I mean, I've learned so much in these I've learned more about business in these 4 months than all of the 17 years or 20 years prior to me getting into business, man. It was just so eye-opening, being able to identify where the gaps are, seeing how to plug those gaps and put us in a position to where we can truly scale. So, I mean, so still you got Brooks and Davis, you got being a dad, being a husband, and all the other stuff that come with that too, Rick.
You know, you mentioned that you are accepted a leadership position in the Houston Black Real Estate Association. For those members of our audience that may not be averse as far as the historical significance of HBREA and some of the things that they've done, not only locally, but nationally, could you give everyone a small snapshot as far as the historic significance of the HBREA and some of the things that they've done that the organization can take credit for?
No, absolutely, man. It's a great time to have that conversation, Rick, especially when we think of the current climate as it relates to DEI and things that are coming out on at a federal level, right? It's kind of giving us remnants of back in 1947 when the National Association of Real Estate Brokers actually came to form. Right. You know, now we have these conferences, we have these midwinter, these conventions. They're in these beautiful resort hotels. Like the midwinter that I just came from in Florida was at the Hilton Resort overlooking the beach. It was just an immaculate, beautiful location. But in 1947, Black people couldn't have meetings in those type of buildings. So these 12 individuals, these were real estate brokers from throughout the United States that had heard about themselves, had come together, and they met in the basement of a Black church because that was the only place that would allow Black people, Black professionals to meet. At that time, the National Association of Realtors would not allow Black people to be a part of their organization. At that time, white brokerage firms would not allow Black people to be a part of their brokerage firms. At that time, predominantly white neighborhoods had deed restrictions and verbiage and things that would not allow Black people into those areas. At that time, the FHA had created their red line maps to dictate where they would guarantee loans and where they would not guarantee loans, which had a horrible adverse effect on access to real estate. All of that was happening at that time in 1947. When these 12 courageous people came together and decided that we got to do something about it. And their solution was to create the National Association of Real Estate Brokers that has been around for almost 80 years and has grown from those 12 courageous individuals to now close to 2,000 members nationally, still championing democracy and housing, being a champion for those that have been denied access, and still being a support center for professionals that need to have that support to be successful in their career. We're still doing it today, and if it's up to me, I'm gonna do my part to where we can keep doing it 100 years in the future.
Now, I want to thank you so much for sharing and educating the members of our audience that may not have been aware of the history of the organization and some of the great things that they've done. You know, the cool thing about hosting this show with you is that not only do we get some of those insights and some of that perspective, not only from a real estate broker, but also someone that's a leader in the real estate space. So I want to thank you so much for your transparency and being so candid about not only the history of HBREA, but giving us a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as far as what's going on from a leadership standpoint, a planning standpoint, and what type of events we can expect to come up in the near future.
Absolutely.
You know, the members of our audience, Coach Mike, they look so forward to being able to submit the questions that you have opportunity to answer for them this weekend. I'm really excited about some of the questions that we have teed up for you. And if you're ready, Coach Mike, I would like to present to you question number 1.
Let's do it, man. Let's get into it.
Coach Mike, what are the best practices for managing business expenses?
Oh, okay. That's a great question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I learned, right? I learned at a later time when it came to owning a business. but I feel like this is the best advice, that if I'd have had this a long, long time ago, that things would have been completely different as it related to how we managed expenses, right? And before I say what it is, let me also throw this out there, right? One of the biggest gaps that I feel like real estate professionals have is an understanding of fundamental business principles, right? So in going through this Goldman Sachs class, that's something that we've really been inundated with, is fundamental business principles. That it don't have anything to do with the product that you sell. It don't have anything to do with the service that you provide. These are fundamental business principles. And one of those fundamental business principles is that to have a successful business, there are three things that matter. These are the three things that matter. Number one is managing your expenses. Number two is satisfying the customer. And number three is beating your competition. Those three things, very simple. Managing your expenses, satisfying the customer, beating your competition. If you miss on any of those points, it dramatically impacts the success of your business. So why did I say that? Because to our question, what are best practices that come with managing business expenses? That's one of the core principles of you being a successful real estate agent. That's one of the core principles of you having a successful real estate business, how you manage your business expenses. I'm speaking from experience, have not done a good job historically managing business expenses. Was really great at satisfying the customer, was pretty cool at beating the competition until the competition evolved. But the biggest challenge has been managing business expenses. So I ran into a book. You know me, man. I like to read, Rick. I like to read. And I can't even, I was going to say, I can't remember where I learned about this book, but I actually can remember where I learned about this book. It was at a NARAB conference, right? Shout out again to NARAB. Mm-hmm. They brought in a presenter and he gave us a list of books. And one of the books that he mentioned was a book called Profit First. Profit, Profit, first. And if you're really serious about getting better at managing business expenses, get that book. That's it. Like when it comes to advice, best practices, read that book, because what that book is going to present to you is going to present to you how to, when you create a dollar, like when you get a dollar into your business, how you should distribute that money, right? It talks about a bucket for taxes. It talks about a bucket for savings. It talks about a bucket for owner's equity, right? And it talks about a bucket for owner's compensation. That was a new concept to me. Fundamental business concept. 17 years, 15 years, had never could see the difference between an entitlement to a profit, which is what owners get for owning something, and an entitlement to owner's compensation, meaning you're being compensated for the work that you do for the business. They're two different things. You got to understand those things, right? And then expenses and understanding the ratios. The book even gives you recommended ratios as it relates to how much of each dollar should go into these buckets. And then what you allow is you allow that behavior change, because that's really what it does. The best practice for managing business expenses is to behave in a certain way. And left to your own accord, left without any parameters, man, that thing will go, your spending will go all over the place and you won't even know what's coming. So that's my advice. Profit first, get the book, right? Read the book, Rick. Do what the book say, do.
No, that's great advice, man. Because of course I had no idea of what your answer to that question was going to be, but I really appreciate you not only being candid as far as your advice, but also letting us know as far as some of the resources that you go to for best practices and expanding your knowledge base. And I urge everyone in the audience to do an online search for that book. Check it out. The cool thing about a lot of books, Coach Mike, is that they now are provided in an audio format as well.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I was just doing, Rick. I was just doing exactly what you said do. Going Googling it so I could at least tell people the author. So Profit First, Mike Michalowicz. Mike Michalowicz. Like, I'll tell you the whole name. The name is Profit First. Transform your business from a cash-eating monster to a money-making machine, by Mike Michalowicz. And before I read this book, Rick, I knew what it meant to have a business that was a cash-eating monster, brother. So now we transform. We in the transformation process.
No, that's outstanding work, man. Thank you so much for that research, Coach Mike, and being so thorough as far as referring that piece of literature to our audience. I urge everyone in the audience, heed Coach Mike's advice. Take a look at that particular book, hardback or the audio version. Add some things to your best practices list and take your real estate business to that next level. Coach Mike, you know, the great thing is that we have such a good time, you know, talking about what we had going on last week. We're going to talk about what's going on this week. But this next question that we have teed up for you, Coach Mike, is something that's really thought-provoking. And then I hope that the members of our audience can really benefit from hearing your thoughts as far as the next subject and the question that we're going to ask. So if you're ready, Coach Mike, I have a second question that I'm really curious about your answer to.
Hey, let's bring it on.
Let's check it out. Coach Mike, what are your tips for avoiding burnout in this industry?
Wow. Yet, so here's the thing, Rick. I just finished another book. Right? The name of it is Align. It's called Align. It's by Alexander. I don't know. I'll Google it later. What his name is? I think his last name is Alexander. It's called Align, right? And the premise of the book, a lot of it talked about posture and how, you know, when we think about our posture, we really need to go back to the more primitive aspects. Like when we think about, you know, primitive humans, now ancestors, you know, we think about third world, you know, we think about some of their practices, how they didn't sit in chairs, they sat on the ground, right? Even when you think about children and you think about pre-K, right? Floor time. Well, there's something behind that, because in reality, as human beings, as animals, we were designed posture-wise. We were designed to sit on the floor. Getting on the floor and getting up, down, up, down, up, down, there are certain muscles that you utilize when you're doing just that, up, down, on a regular basis. They've done studies of people that have a culture around being on the floor. Like there are many cultures that they eat on the floor. There are many cultures where 3 to 4 times a day they pray. So getting on the floor, getting back up, getting on the floor. And they've identified that in these cultures, these individuals live a more healthier life, right? That's just one aspect of what it talked about in this book. I'm bringing it up because just this morning, because I finished it this morning, it talked about the mental aspects of what we can do and how we are naturally conditioned to handle things and not handle things, right? One of the illustrations that it talked about this morning was it talked about the zebra. And it said it started the section off by saying this: humans are the only animals that need meditation. So I'm going to say that again. It said humans are the only animals that need meditation. Like there are no other animals that meditate, right? Saying that the reason that humans need meditation is because we don't naturally know how to decompress. All other animals, they know how to naturally decompress. When they experience a traumatic situation, the illustration they used is with the zebra. When a zebra barely escapes through the jaws of death of a lion, right? They have a propensity to where they can go from that extremely charged up, stressed out circumstance, because when you get stressed and you got to run for your life, that triggers physiologically triggers certain things to position you to escape, right? Self-preservation, your body modify. Like there are literal modifications that happen to your body when you're trying to escape, when you're in a highly charged, traumatic, and stressed circumstance, right? And when the zebra puts himself in that situation to escape and achieves it, they know how to quickly decompress. The reason is, Rick, because it's unhealthy when you stay charged up like that.
Right.
It's not healthy for your body. Humans, we don't know how to do it. So we have all these micro traumas that we experience. And here's the crazy thing about it. It's not even really traumatic. Like back in the day when you leave a cave and at any moment lurking behind anything could be the end of you, right? Versus in 2025, bro, that's just not the case. But to us, we have these micro traumas and we don't know how to decompress. So now we fast forward into the industry that we're in, man. We are like in a highly competitive, highly charged industry, right? Highly competitive, highly charged. We have a lot of demands that's on us just in the industry. And that's not even counting our personal lives, the responsibilities as far as husbands, wives, fathers, moms, brothers, sisters. It doesn't take into account if we're a part of any organizations, if we're in lead, like people depend on you. We're just talking about real estate. Just that component right there is a highly competitive, highly charged career and industry. And if you don't intentionally put yourself in a position to where you can, number one, get grounded before you get in that environment, and when you get out of that environment, decompress so you can get some true rest, it'll be an ever turning circle, right? So to the question, what are the tips for avoiding it? I think that's just going to be a journey that people have to go through, because what works for me may not necessarily work for you, right? And vice versa. I'll give you some of the things that I do, but this was a process that I've learned over time to understand what works for me and what doesn't work for me. For me, I got to get up an hour, 2 hours before it's time for me to get going. Like I got to get out the bed and have some silence, right? I gotta drink me some water. I got to get me some water with a little bit of lemon, and I got to rehydrate, because when I sleep, I sweat and I'm dehydrated when I wake up. I got to rehydrate, right? I got to plan my day. And for me to plan my day, I got to do that in silence. Like I gotta do all of that while everybody else is still asleep, right? For me, I gotta read. I gotta do something that spurns my brain and my intellect, and I gotta do that. So whether that's reading my Bible, whether that's reading a book, but I gotta do something, and I gotta do that in silence with no distractions, because I want to absorb. I absorb it. I gotta do that, right? I gotta pray. I gotta meditate in the silence of things to envision what it is that I'm looking to achieve. And again, all of this is just for me to be grounded, to be prepared to go out there and face these things. For me, I got to do a little 10, 12-minute workout, get the heartbeat up, get a little bit of, not a lot of sweat, a little bit of sweat. Got to get it going to charge your cells, because we finna go out here and get this thing in. We're finna move at a pace that most people are not moving at, right? For me, I got to take a cold shower, Rick. I take cold showers in the morning. I don't take warm showers. I take cold showers, right? Because number one, again, that level of therapy triggers certain things on a cellular basis, number one. And number two, it conditions your body and it conditions you to do things that you don't want to do. I don't want to take a cold shower every day. But what I'm doing is I'm telling my body and I'm telling my nervous system that we're going to have to do things that we don't want to do today, and that's okay, because that's how we built. I got to do that for me to make the hard choices and have the hard conversations with people. I got to do that. So that just gives some insight on what I do before I start the day. That's before I even go. And then when I come home, I can't go to sleep with the TV on. I can't go to bed right after I done been on my phone and doing all of that. I need about 30 minutes to an hour where that thing is not in my face. I cannot have the TV on, right? And I need to be settled. So to ensure that I have a very good night's sleep, so I'm not tired as I move throughout the day. So those are some things that I do, right? I don't sleep on my stomach. I don't sleep with a pillow. I sleep on my side. And like, these are things that I've just picked up in books and I've tried them out and they work for me. So I keep doing them. Does this mean that that's going to work for everybody? It may not, but I'm very intentional with practices that I do to be able to avoid burnout, because my family can't afford it for me to be burned out. I got too many people depending on me. So I treat myself like I'm a professional athlete. I'm running at the pace that professional athletes and highly successful people run at. And to be able to do that, there's a level of physical fitness and mental acuity that you have to be able to run at that pace.
No, I appreciate you sharing that, Coach Mike, because what I took from what you shared is that there's a certain work-life balance that assures that you don't suffer from things like burnout. And that just leads me to just discussing how being part of a village professionally, being part of a network, being part of organizations allows you to share best practices with people like yourself, other real estate professionals, to talk about what inspires you, what gets you going, what recharges your battery. And it just brings me to the part of the show where we talk about Brooks and Davis real estate firm as a real estate family, BND TV, all of the different trainings, all of the different happy hour podcasts, and all of the cool things that are put in place so that real estate professionals can just not totally focus on the business, but to talk about things like the value of fitness, the value of eating right. So Coach Mike, for our audience, could you just give them some insight as far as what they can expect when they become not just an affiliate, but also a member of the Brooks and Davis real estate family?
No, absolutely. I'd love to talk about that. So Rick, I always like to start with BND TV, right? Because BND TV really showcases it allows us to create a lot of content and allows us to really impact people on a larger scale, just being tapped into this social media world. What we do on Mondays with Monday Night Live, I mean, just this dialogue right here, Rick, people are going to hear what we talked about today, and it's going to be life-changing for those that truly embrace it. And the fact that we allow ourselves to be open to where people can DM us, they can directly contact us for additional information and detail. I mean, where are professionals able to go to be tapped into that kind of community and to be tapped into individuals like ourselves? So I truly appreciate what we do on Mondays. Tomorrow, I know, Rick, you're going to be taking over for me with the Real to Life podcast. We're going to be interviewing this young lady. She's a new member of Brooks and Davis real estate firm. Looks like she's a passionate entrepreneur. And again, that's one of our roles where we're able to showcase real estate professionals and allow them to speak about those passions, things that they're passionate about in spite of just real estate. So that's tomorrow at 12:30. Super excited. Make sure you all lock in. Like with all of our BND TV shows, we go live on Facebook and on YouTube. Then we're going to double back and come in and talk about our Real Estate Happy Hour Live, where our topic for tomorrow is Easter Candy Showdown. Which treat begins? Which treat reigns supreme? Right. And our Real Estate Happy Hour Live it's a lighthearted show where we come together and we discuss certain trending topics, current events, real estate industry related things, along with some real estate advice to consumers and realtors. It's just real estate professionals talking about randomness. And the best part of that show is that people that jump on, they can also be a part of the show with us. Right. So that's tomorrow at 2:30. Definitely want you to take advantage of what's going on there. And then, Rick, let me go ahead and pull you in, talk to the people a little bit about the great things that the Prime Real Estate Network podcast is up to.
Yeah, I want to invite everyone in the audience to not only watch myself, but also the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, every Thursday at noon Central Time for the Prime Real Estate Network Live. On this show, this is where myself and Mr. Brooks introduces our audience to not only real estate professionals, but also notable brokers, lenders, and all kinds of professionals that practice in the real estate space. If you're looking for market updates, what's going on in the new home community, where are some of the latest open houses and new listings to hit the market, I urge everyone to check out myself and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, every Thursday at noon Central for the Prime Real Estate Network Live. Thanks a lot, Coach Mike.
Absolutely, Rick. Absolutely. All right. And then we encourage you all, if you're not a part, if you haven't subscribed to the Houston Real Estate Channel, do it today. The Houston Real Estate Channel is a comprehensive guide to exploring the vibrant neighborhoods in and around Houston, Texas. You're going to get these valuable insights with a diverse range of videos, including in-depth market reports and essential tips for buyers and sellers. Make sure you go there today, subscribe, and get access. So when we post a new video, we post new videos every couple of weeks about neighborhoods, location, truly in-depth videos. You're going to be tagged with those. Also, real estate agents, are you ready to take your career to new heights with a brokerage that puts you first? Because at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, we offer something no one else does, and that's a powerful money-back guarantee. We believe in our support so much that if you don't close a transaction within 90 days, we'll refund every dollar you pay to us. And if a year goes by and you still haven't closed, we'll even refund your payments to HAR, MLS, and Super. Literally, we believe that your success is our priority. And you're not just joining a brokerage, you're becoming a part of a community that's dedicated to your growth. So if this is something that you find comfort in knowing that if I go over there, they're willing to put their money where their mouth is, we ask that you reach out to us today and we set up a career and benefits conversation. So let us know. Also, we have our World Changers community, which is all about connection and collaboration. It allows you to unlock the full potential of your real estate career by becoming a part of this membership. You'll be joining a supportive family where you can grow, innovate, and be recognized. It's all about collaboration. You don't have to leave your broker. You can stay right where you are with your broker and still tap into our community. A community where you make a difference by engaging in local initiatives, where you elevate your education, you get access to trainings, you get access to support, and you even get access to coaching. You enjoy accessibility and easy collaboration within this community. And the best part is it doesn't cost you a thing. All it does is cost your intention. So go today, go to the link that's on the screen, identify where you see the World Change community, and join today. Now, whether you're licensed or not licensed, we also have a program for you. It's our real estate student affiliate program. Our real estate student affiliate program, if you're an aspiring realtor, if you're in the process of obtaining or interested in getting your real estate license, there's this exclusive opportunity that you can tap into. Again, go to the link, join. You can participate in our study hall. You can get access to resources and tools that can help you get through those real estate classes as well as pass that exam. So it brings you into a supportive community as well. Make sure you go to the link and learn more so you can join. Finally, I want to say follow us on social media. Stay in the loop by following us on LinkedIn for industry insights, Instagram for behind the scenes fun, Facebook for lively discussions, and YouTube for exclusive video content. You can scan the QR codes that are on the screen and get connected to all of our community. You can even scan the QR code and go to our Google page and leave us a review. Don't miss out on the latest updates and exciting content. We definitely look forward to seeing you there.
Coach Mike, thank you so much, man. I know this week's event schedule is chock full of just great events, great trainings, and things that can just make you all around better business professional. But I would like to give our audience one last opportunity to get involved with Realtors Week. So could you just share a little bit about what's going on this week from that standpoint, Coach Mike? And what will the next opportunity be for the members of our audience to meet, greet, and interact with CEO Coach Mike?
Come on, man. Tomorrow, baby. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to be at the Nichols venue. We're going to be doing our State of Housing in Black America. We're going to be blessed by the national president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, Dr. Courtney Johnson Rose. She's going to be delivering the report to those that come to the event on tomorrow at 11 o'clock. You do not want to miss. Also, you'll get an insight into NARAB. We do our second Tuesdays, where the national president speaks to all the chapters of NARAB, and she's actually going to be doing it in a private quarter at the Nichols venue, and we're going to be simulcasting it into the location that we have. So that's going to be the lead in into the presentation of our Sheba report. So we're super excited about that. Again, go to hbreaevents.org. You'll be able to register for not only this event tomorrow at 12, but we're also going to have networking mixers networking mixers throughout the city. We have 2 networking mixers on Wednesday. You don't want to miss out. And then we have one on Thursday that's going to be in West Houston near Katy that you don't want to miss out, right? So 3 networking mixers. We're also going to be in Katy on Friday. It's Spa Day for the ladies in collaboration with our Women Council of Realtors, Women in Real Estate. They're going to be going to Spa World. That's in Katy. I've been there, Rick. I like Spa World. But they're going to be there on Friday. Again, all of this is at hbreaevents.org. And then we're going to wrap it all up on Saturday with our Community Wealth Building Day. It's in partnership with the Church of God in Christ at one of their mega campuses here in the city of Houston. Last year, we had close to 300 people attend our Community Wealth Building Day, and we're pushing to have that level of participation on this Saturday as well. There's no cost with the Community Wealth Building Day. And if you're out there, really, Community Wealth Building Day is an extension of what we do with Monday Night Live, Rick. As we give education to consumers, buyers, sellers, even real estate professionals, the Community Wealth Building Day is doing that on a larger scale where we bring the actual resources to people. People can have one-on-one conversations with attorneys, lenders, and real estate professionals. People get to meet a lot of the resources, learn about the different programs that are in and throughout the city as it relates to the resources that people have access to. We'll have classes like what to do with Big Mama's house. Like if you got airship challenges and, put you on the best track to make sure that you don't lose that property, the ABCs of home buying. I mean, it's just a plethora of things. We even have things for the kids to do. So the whole family is going to be touched and taken care of at Community Wealth Building Day, and that's what it's designed to do. So go to hbreaevents.org. You can learn more about all of the events, register, reserve your spot, and come spend time with us as we do some great things this week.
Hey, man, thank you so much, Coach Mike, man. Today's episode of the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show is one for the ages. I urge everyone in the audience, like, subscribe, share today's episode. Let everyone know about all the great events that are going on during Realtors Week. Tap in and get involved. Coach Mike, is there anything that you would like to say in closing before we sign off on this week's episode of Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show?
No, man, I think we covered it all. Go to hbreaevents.org, learn more about what we're doing, get involved, get connected, and get engaged. Your life will be better for it.
Hey, man, thanks a lot, Coach Mike. On behalf of myself, Rick Davis, and CEO Coach Mike of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, we want to urge everyone in the audience to get active, get engaged, get involved. Until the next episode of the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike, we urge everyone in the audience to please be safe and be blessed.